Hello, welcome to the Record Celtic Podcast. My name is Daniel Caw, and I was going to say delighted, but I'm actually a bit depressed to be joined all the way from Portugal by Michael Gannon and Ryan McDonald. Guys, it looks far too nice, Stephen.
Listen, Daniel, this is out of order. We could be sitting by the pool right now. You're dragging us away from valuable pool time.
Yeah, I know, I apologise.
Blazing sunshine, a lovely cool pool behind us, and you're dragging us away for football chat. This is pre-season here, remember?
It's a tough life for you both, I know that, but I thought we better, scrape in a pod while we've got a chance. But you're both okay?
Yeah, brilliant,
Very well. Hard at it. We'll see at some point, maybe, but we're very busy, so we'll see at some point.
Aye, of course, aye. Before we go any further, we were just talking off air about Celtic's newly released away kit for the season. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you won't be able to see it, but if you're watching online, there it is there, the black. I mean, I don't even know if black and sort of deep green away kit. Ryan, we talked in the pod last week about some of the pre-match kit, which just I'm still hoping is a practical joke, and the third kit as well, which is just awful, I think. But what's your thoughts on the away kit?
I don't know what's going on with Adidas this year. But the thing is, £75 for a jersey as well, that makes it even worse. It looks to me as if it's a throwback to the 97 kind of jersey. I think Henry Larsson wore it. Similar to the one that he kind of broke his leg in Leon, kind of reminds me of that a wee bit. But it's, I don't know, the collar's strange on it as well. I don't know what they're playing at with that one.
Honking, they're all honking. Every one of them is absolutely honking.
They're not great, to be fair. They're not great. Thing is, you look around Europe and you see
these things are absolutely honking.
£75 for a jersey.
That kind of weird, kind of beigey, kind of away kit looks like some of these old, like 10-year-old bed sheets that have been left not been washed for about a decade. They're absolutely, it's horrendous.
That is horrendous. That one, aye. It's really bad.
I mean, you're flying out here. There's actually fans kicking about the Albufeira, as there always is in kind of holiday season. This is a kind of holiday resort. So not just the fact that Celtic are here, but the fact that it's holiday season. So there's people kicking about with these kits on, and they're offensive. They're absolutely awful.
I'm trying to be diplomatic, and then you've got Mick here.
Aye, I know. Excellent.
I'm a bit older, right? So if I see these kits across the road,
they're not great.
You shouldn't be, anyone over 18 should not be wearing a football kit unless you're playing football. So if anyone spends £75 on this top, then good luck to them. But they're all absolutely howling.
I know. I was saying, Ryan, to Mick before we come on here that my brother wants to buy my nephew the shirt with a name in the back, and it's £101.
Wow, I mean,
just crazy. But anyway, Celtic aren't alone in that. Obviously, it's just the way the world, isn't it?
I take it the name's in vinegar of Hesselink if it's coming.
It was actually just my Ada. Apparently, it's just a set price.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But anyhow,
it's a lot. Listen, you can get a bit. I got a little bit kind of angry at these kind of things. It's a kind of loyalty tax.
Aye.
Exploiting folk for their loyalty to their football clubs, and it's absolutely taking the mickey, charging these kind of prices. I mean, these tops cost about £3 bob to make, and they charge £100. I mean, away in raffle, honestly.
Yeah, that's bad. That is bad.
Boycott the whole thing.
We saw yesterday, well, I certainly saw from here in Scotland that Celtic have been out and about. They were at the Estadio Nacional yesterday, probably where the most famous Celtic game of all took place. You guys, you didn't get to tag along, did you?
No, we weren't invited. Unfortunately.
Was that just you two, or was that the media?
Just in general. No, they managed to get a wee kind of private tour themselves for the afternoon. And got to kind of soak up the surroundings. Listen, they're training next door to it all week, so it'd been a bit silly not to go and visit, really.
I did make a visit on Friday after the Celtic Media Day, and it's the second time I've been there, and it's remarkable. It's almost been untouched since that day in Lisbon 58 years ago. So it would have been madness for Celtic not to make the trip, but they kept it very under wraps and they had a private trip yesterday. So it's good for these guys to see the surroundings as well. Surprised, asked Brendan Rodgers about it. He'd actually never been himself. I don't think Kieran Tierney had been either. So it's a bucket list destination for these guys as well.
Are they doing up the stadium? Are they changing it?
They're meant to be like a multi-million pound facelift. It was meant to be happening this summer, but I'm not so sure. I think it's been delayed again. They actually held the Portugal versus Ireland rugby on Saturday.
Aye, that's
When
right.
I visited on Friday, it was there was rugby goalposts instead of football goals. So I think it was close to a sellout as well, 38,000. But yeah, I think they might be putting a new roof in and all that kind of stuff and upgrading it. I think it's an 81-year-old stadium, so it's been around for a while and they've not really touched it.
Well, Wild Celtic have been out in their travels. The thing that's been taking up a lot of the time with fans is transfers. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit on the Hotline Live, Ryan, but a few names that Celtic fans have on the tip of their tongues at the moment. One is Odsonne Edouard, and I want to get both your guys' take on a potential Celtic return for the French striker. He's obviously at Crystal Palace. Reports are that he's been told he can leave. I mean, the reason why I ask it, and I know social media is not the be-all and end-all, but he's trending on X today with a lot of Celtic fans discussing it. Is he someone that you guys think could come back and do a job?
I mean, he's not really done much for the last 2 years. I don't think he kicked a ball for under Ruud van Nistelrooy at Leicester. He's been deemed surplus to requirements at Crystal Palace. I think he's in the final year of his contract there. How many guys are you going to bring back at this rate? I mean, as well, just bringing back the 20, the treble squad at this rate. Bring Scott Sinclair back as well. He's 36 and he's out of a team. I'm not so sure. I think Celtic need to go for down a different route, to be honest. I know Brendan's a massive fan. He said when Edouard first came in that he was one of the best young players he'd ever seen and ever worked with. But a lot of years have passed since then, and I don't know. I'm always kind of reluctant for teams to go back for former players. I know Celtic have done it with Kieran Tierney and Jota, but I don't know. I'm not so sure. I think the ship sailed with Edouard at Celtic. I don't know what you think, mate.
Do you know what? See if a deal coming up. Listen, he's on mega money down south, right? So he's a year to go, so he need to get paid up. So listen, you probably think that Crystal Palace will give him 6 months of his money to go. If he's willing to take a pay cut to come to Celtic, he'd not get the same kind of money at Celtic, maybe half the money. So if he did come back, it'd have to be purely because he liked being at the club, and his motivation would be not financially. I suspect I think he'll end up somewhere, maybe Saudi Arabia or something like that, or America. Yeah. Unfortunately, his career is stalled big time, and I thought he was going to be a big hit in England.
I thought so as well.
But it never really caught fire for him. Great big player. I mean, if Brendan Rodgers could sweet talk him and get him back up and get him playing again, then absolutely. I just think his career's in that trajectory. He's made a lot of money. Maybe he's quite content. He's probably going to be ambling about in the MLS next year, I think, or Saudi Arabia or something like that. I think that's the way his trajectory's going. If he fancies the challenge to come back to Celtic, then they would just snap it up. He's like a big player. Mm-hmm. He's only 27.
He's only 27, aye.
It just looks like he's just wasted a couple of years doing hee-haw. So unless if Rodgers could really get him ignited, then yes. But if not, then I think I wish him all the best in his next move.
I mean, I think it was unfair when fans suggested down tools in his last season. Yeah, he might not be at his best, but I think he still scored over 20 goals. So, but what's his motivation to come back? He's already won a couple of trebles. He's played in the Champions League. He's earning a fortune down south. If he goes to Saudi Arabia, for example, he could double his wages. I'm sure he'll have interest there. There's plenty of other cities I'm sure he'd love to experience as well. So I don't know. I think his time at Celtic's done and dusted, and I'm not so sure it'd be a wise move.
The other name that's been mentioned in terms of a transfer in the last 24 hours is Flavio Nazinho. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but I think Nazinho, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll accept that.
You look at Sud.
I always wanted a cool name like that when I was young. You know what I mean? Dandinho or something like that.
Fabio Caw.
Exactly, Coinho. But the Portuguese left back, 21. Can you guys enlighten us at all? Is there any whispers out there about a potential?
Just that it's not quite as done and dusted as some making out in kind of Belgium. A guy who Celtic need a backup for Kieran Tierney, so I suspect they will bring a kind of. It's got to be a younger player or the other end, a kind of very experienced kind of veteran. Because it's a hard sell, right? Because you're basically saying to a guy, come to Celtic, you're not going to be the first choice on any given day if Kieran Tierney's fit. But the chances are you're going to play 25 games next season. You're probably off the bench a lot of weeks for the last half an hour of games. So you're going to get a lot of minutes. But for a guy at 26, 27, he's peak his powers, it's still maybe a hard sell. Whereas a guy at 21, 20, you're like, you know what, just bide your time, you'll get 25 games, you'll be playing 50 minutes most weeks, you'll get your win bonus most weeks, things like that, and then we'll see how you go in the future. Or the guy who's like 32, 33, he's quite happy to kind of fill in and do the job. So you're not going to get a kind of peak powers 27-year-old guy coming in to be the backup left back. So this guy kind of sounds like a decent prospect. You just don't know. I mean, listen, it's a market. We don't listen. I don't know about you. I don't watch a lot of Belgian football.
No.
Well, listen, we did well with ball and goalie the last time they went to that.
He was a rip-roaring success, wasn't he?
That's that. He was a hostage to fortune, unfortunately. With all ball and goalie.
They loved that day trip as well, didn't they?
Aye. But listen, in fairness, back now looking in hindsight, you had the right idea. It does. But aye, so it's a weird position they need to fill, I think, for Celtic, because it's not. I think a difficult kind of sell for that role.
Surely you would sell it almost like a job share. I mean, I know it's difficult to put that to a player, but I think you've summed it up right. I mean,
nobody wants to share the job, but nobody wants the job share.
I'm not convinced it's that hard to sell, because you're going to. I think he's going to be playing. Whoever comes in, I think he'll play at least 30 games.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't want to be cynical, but you're going to say this. By the way, the chances are you're going to play 20 minutes every week, and then you're going to get a win bonus 90% of the time.
Aye.
It's not a bad gig, that one.
yeah. I know it's true. But excuse my ignorance here, because but just maybe when I was on holiday, what happened with Jeffrey Schlupp? Was there any official news? It's just not going to happen.
He's been off the radar, hasn't he?
No, I think he's destined for sunnier climes. I think he's the last I heard was Saudi Arabian was mentioned. A couple of teams in France. Again, MLS probably a good move for him. I think. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, Jeffrey Schlupp, if he's not tied down towards the end of the window, you might get a call, because he's a guy. He's a handy guy to have around.
Aye.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't bother.
No.
I think he's very good. I've got to be honest. I thought a couple of decent games. I thought he played really well against Bayern Munich, but he's up against a guy who he played against in training for 2 years, so he knew how to play against.
Elise, you're right.
But weirdly, coped well with Elise. Couldn't cope with St Johnson. For just one of the all-time bad displays of the season. I just think guy came in, done his duty, done his job. But I wouldn't be chasing that one up. But you never know. But I think he's going to be getting one last payday somewhere else.
I've got other names to throw at you transfer-wise. I mean, Shin Yamada, he was one last week that, again, when it first came out, it was he's on his way, but nothing seems to have happened. And I definitely feel like Celtic fans are getting a little bit kind of losing their patience a little bit. But then again, it's only 15th of July.
He's got a game tonight, I think, in Japan. I think the chat was that once this game's out the way tonight, was it tonight or tomorrow night? It's the next few days anyway. Once that's out the way, the chances are he'll hightail it across the world.
So that's still on, that deal?
Yeah, it looks as though that's pretty much sorted, I think. Celtic are kind of a bit coy about it at the moment, but it seems to be that's pretty much in advance. So,
for me, the big question is where he fits in. If he's going to be a first choice striker or not, that's the big one. If he's going to come in and actually challenge Ardemir, if he's the replacement for Kyogo, I think that's the big question.
He can't. I just don't think. I think he's another kind of bit of a punt, to be honest with you.
25-year-old as well.
He's 25. Goal record decent last year, not so good this year. The year before last year wasn't that great. He's been capped for Japan once. So he has been capped, but you got to remember that when Kyogo and Maeda and Hatate landed, they're all part of the international setup. Even guys like Awata, player of the year in Japan. I mean, people viewed him as the best player in the country at that time. So these guys are the real top pedigree. This guy's maybe not quite the kind of same. So Celtic, I've seen something in them that they can work with. I think he is a similar type of kind of player to Kyogo, but maybe not quite at the same level. Never mind, this is Kyogo couldn't get a game for Japan, couldn't get in the squad sometimes.
I know.
So he's a level kind of below that. So listen, I don't know. I think you've got to be kind of listen again. I'm sounding very sceptical today. I'm a bit kind of old bitter old man. Sitting in the sunshine as well. Wave my finger at the clouds if I was any.
It's a tough life, isn't it?
I don't know. I think if that's the kind of signing, we talked about the Hotline Live the other night that the Celtic board are going to be under Series P to get decent signings done. And it's a £1.5 million guy, a 25-year-old from Japan. All right, he might turn out to be an absolute smash hit superstar. Diaz Almeida cost the same kind of money. Hatate didn't cost much money, so it might be one of those kind of signings. But it might not be. And I think the Celtic board are going to get under pressure to get the checkbook out and start making some signings. They've not really spent any money yet.
I mean, for anyone listening, his record in the J League was 19 goals in 38 games last season, so really impressive. But as you say, Mick, this season he scored 2 in 22.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely, it does come across a bit of a punt, really.
I mean, there could be a reason for that. He might kind of be wanting to move himself.
Aye, true.
I don't know how good his team are. I mean, a striker's only good as the supply lines. Yeah. So it might be that the team are better last year and they get more service. So we don't know.
I mean, Celtic have done the homework on this guy, definitely. So they've definitely seen something in him that they think, he can lead the line potentially going forward. But I'm just, I'd be surprised if that's the only striker that comes in. I know Callum Osman's in the door, but he's not.
Nowhere near it.
So I would be surprised if he's the only striker because I think they need a goal scorer up there.
I said this to you last night, Ryan, but I definitely think there's something in it. Mick, if Celtic had signed the same players, right, but they'd went all out and paid 10, 12 million to get Tierney back, they paid 6 or 7 for Negren. Do you think the Celtic fans would be a bit more relaxed? Do you think it's purely because they've just not spent a big amount of money?
Yeah, I take that point, because a lot of it is PR and perception. But the perception is that Celtic have taken in £20 million plus on Nicholas Kuhn, Gustav Lager, Bielka, the kickback from Frimpong. So 20 plus million in the bank already. They've taken in £25 million season book money. I mean, people have stumped up. And by the way, not cheap now to go and watch Celtic. Aye. So punters have basically had money put in their bank this summer for the new season, and they're buying it on pure hope. I mean, they're not expecting anything for their money apart from they're hoping for the best. I think they're entitled to think, well done a minute here. There's money there. The team needs, I think, 4 first-team ready signings. So, guys, finger out time. Let's get business done. Again, I do take the point. I don't think you need to go and sign £4 or £5 million players. So they've done it in the past. They've signed £5 million players who have been absolute duds.
Aye.
I mean, we were talking about it this morning, actually. I mean, Neil Lennon, who I think is, by the way, a really good recruiter as a manager, right? But his last season in the summer, on paper, it looked a good summer. Reality, they were all duds. I mean, guys like Alban Ayeti, £5 million. Barkas, £5 million. I mean, big Shane Duffy, been on a loan deal and all that stuff. So it was like £5 million thrown around left, right, and centre on guys that didn't cut it. So that's a difficult market, that £5-6 million market. No. So I don't mind buying players at £1-2 million. It's a low risk strategy. Might turn it okay, but if you buy 10 of them, that's £20 million. When it happened 2 years ago on the Rodgers first season, spent £25 million on 11 £2 million players.
And how many of them actually?
How many actually are any good?
Aye.
To try to get a shot at them. I mean, half of them have gone already. The other half are getting punted this summer. So the market is what it is. But I do think Celtic need to start making statements just to keep the fans at bay because they're not going to be happy. They will do it.
So you're still confident they will go out and
not spend £20 million.
Right.
Okay. I would put my shirt on them spending £20 million this summer. So I expect what they spent so far, £3-4 million.
Yeah.
So I think they'll sign another 3 players at 4 or 5 million quid, easy.
You said, Mick, you reckon there's 4 starters that need to come in. So if we take, obviously we mentioned left back, but where else do you guys think? I mean, centre half, is that one?
I still think they need a centre half. I think they need left back, centre half, 2 wingers, and a striker. Centre half, I think, not that big a priority. They've got 3-4 solid centre halves. Could do one. I think they could do one. But you need 2 wingers and a centre forward and a left back. So three first team ready players and 1 half first team ready kind of guy.
It's mad when you think, I know Maeda obviously plays wide left, but if you consider him a forward, James Forrest is really right now Celtic's best winger. I would put forward anyway. Best out and out winger.
I mean, he was good on Saturday as well. We came off the bench in the second half. I thought he was Celtic's best player in the second half. So I think he still have a role to play, definitely going forward. But he's not. He can't rely on. He's 34. He can't rely on James Forrest to be your main winger.
Listen, it's a 60-game season. So say you do start with Forrest one side and Maida on the other side, the two of them knock their pan for 60 minutes, and you have to make a replacement. So you bring on Yang and who else? Do you know what I mean?
That was a problem for Celtic last season, especially in the Scottish Cup final. We didn't really have many difference makers that could come off the bench, and I think that's where they really need to improve. I don't think their squad was as good as everybody thought it was. I think that, you look at how Celtic ended the cup final. Greg Taylor being centre mid.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a shambles, in all honesty.
Yeah.
So and they've lost. I mean, I know Brendan Rodgers likes a lean squad, but they're down in the last season as well now. So yeah, they need to get reinforcements in quickly, otherwise the fans really will start cracking up.
You mentioned. You
look back in 2021, 22, and it used to be that under Ange Postecoglou, the front 3, you'd have you had Maida, Kyogo, and Jota, and then he would make 3 subs, and you bring on Giacomakis, Abada, and who's the other winger? Basically kept in Forest. So they could swap the front 3 after an hour, because they used to run them into the ground and swap them after, and the guys coming on were every bit as good as the guys in the pitch. Whereas now you can't say that. I mean, I think especially in the forward areas, in terms of out wide. I mean, obviously Kuhn going, Jota. You're not going to see Jota, I think, till the start of next season, the following season. I think
that long, really.
Well, listen, you're a guy who spent 18 months twiddling his thumbs, comes back, plays for 2 or 3 months, isn't anywhere near full fitness at that point, gets injured. He's now going to be a year out. He won't get back on the pitch till after the new year.
You're actually no, you're right. You're right. Actually,
he's basically going to be 2.5 years out the game, and expect him to hit the ground running again. I think you're going to be August 2026 before you even get close to seeing Jota back to where he should be.
I've torn my ACL 3 times, right? And I mean, this might shock you guys. I'm probably not in as good physical shape as Jota is, right? But as you say that, Mike, it does it takes, even if you're medically fit and healed, it takes you months and months and months to get anywhere near.
It used to be the ACL a career killer. So it's good that they can come back from it now. That used to be the end of careers. I mean, that used to end you. But it's going to be a year before he's anywhere close. But you got to remember, 18 months of doing hee-haw before that.
Aye. So I think that's an important point.
Now spent the best part of 3 years out the game.
That's mad when you put it that way.
Being a top-class player. Listen, I think he has got a very, very long way to go to being back to where he was before.
The fear is that he might never be back.
This is the thing. I actually think you need to start thinking now that you can't bank on it. Mm-hmm. You can't bank on him appearing any time next season at all. So I think they need a couple of wide men in and sharpish. It's a shame, but it's the nature of the game, isn't it? These things can happen, but you just need to accept that it could be another year before you get back. You
mentioned, Mick, another wide man there, Yang. Reports yesterday that Norwich want him to replace Borja Sainz, who's signed for Porto. Would you be sad to see him go, or is it time for him to move on?
Celtic, I said this in the Hotline Live the other night. Celtic can get rid of him for £3 million. I mean, I think, to be honest, he's more making leaps and bounds from this time last season. I mean, I think Brendan Rodgers deserves credit for that. He nearly made an impact for the bench, and he came off. His best game was probably against St Mirren when his girlfriend made a visit, and I think that was part of the reason why he did so well. So I think they signed him for £2 million. If they can sell him for £3 million, make a profit, thank him for the services, and it's another kind of fringe player, off the books, and use that to get someone of genuine quality and they can actually stake a claim for a regular first team place rather than just coming off the bench. I think that's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Not good enough. Listen, works hard, great attitude, no end product, off you pop.
Yeah.
Gone. No, not good enough.
And I think
I'll give you an example, right? Would you be better off with Martin Boyle at Hibs or Yang? Who would you take in the team?
Martin Boyle.
Every day of the week.
Every day of the week.
End product, pace, goals, end product. Yang, tricky, got a trick in him, got a wee bit of ability, no end product. No, not good enough.
And I do think you mentioned the Scottish Cup final, Ryan, and I'm not singling him out because it was a bad day for everyone at Celtic, but Yang was particularly poor that day. He came on and offered nothing.
Yeah,
so
honking.
Guess we'll see. I know that obviously Celtic play Sporting Lisbon Wednesday night. What else is on the agenda for you guys then? Are you just topping up the tans, working on the cocktails? What's happening?
Hey, how dare you? You're working yourself into the ground.
I'm trying to hide my passive aggressive jealousy, but it's not working.
I'm coming down this afternoon, so we'll go and skip over and have a wee check on how they're getting on later on, and then we'll have an early night, prepare for tomorrow night's game. We'll do our research on Sporting Lisbon and retire to our quarters for a relaxing evening, I think. Evening of quiet contemplation.
Would you share? Is that your plans as well, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. I've nothing else.
Might even sneak a wee game of golf in the morning. Maybe sneak a wee game of golf in the morning before the game.
Wait, where is the game tomorrow night?
It's at the Stadio Algarve, which is the famous scene of Gordon Strachan's big selfie. Remember that embarrassment? After he beat Gibraltar, and he did a big selfie in front of 10,000 when we failed to get to a World Cup. And he left. And also the scene of the glorious 2-0 win of Scotland last year, and one of the worst friendly matches I've ever clapped my eyes on. We also drew with Holland in that game as well. But that's a stadium I've been to many times. And it's in the Algarve, so it's a great place to come for a pre-season.
So you don't really need to travel much. It's basically on your doorstep.
It's 20 minutes on the road. Yeah, so it's not too bad.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing. It's another step up for Celtic as well, you know. Queen's Park. Did they play there?
Well, they've not started pre-season. I think these games have all been the minutes and the legs games. I've done a bit on Record Sport Online yesterday. But these games are done the minutes and legs type games. Doesn't matter. This is a game that's probably the first one we need to see something. We need to see patterns of play. We need to see how the fitness is stepping up. We need to see what's going to happen. We hint towards what's coming in the next few weeks. Because we've seen it last year. I was in America last year with Celtic, and the pre-season. Listen, this is my about 14th Celtic pre-season in a row, right? And you get to see the same thing all the time. You got these friendly matches. Honestly, I mean, matchsticks and eyelids try to keep your eyes open, right? But dull as anything, right? But last year in America, it was terrific. The games were amazing. I mean, I thought Celtic were absolutely superb, right? I mean, I was sitting in the press box with English guys, and I got like, what is this Celtic team, by the way?
They trained Chelsea 4-1, didn't they?
Oh, thumped Chelsea 3-0. Beat Man City 4-3, but it was 3-1 and 4-2 and all that, whatever it was. And it set the tone because Celtic started the season like a house on fire, and they actually won the league in that first period. They won 16 out of 18 games, and the league was done. It put so much pressure on Rangers that it cost the manager his job eventually. And it won the league. The league was done by Christmas last year.
Oh, definitely.
And I think they should be trying to do the same again. They need to get up to speed. They've got a few more games. Like they've got Newcastle, they've got the Como Cup thing the following week as well.
They're gradually
so they've got time. They've got time. So I wouldn't say if they get beaten against Sporting Lisbon, it's crack badges time yet. But I do think they need to show something. This needs to be the one they just switch into proper mode. So I think it'll be interesting. I think they need something this week. We've not seen anything yet. It's been 2 teams at each half and all that stuff, and all these guys, young kids who are playing, and guys that will not see light of day all season. Now
you raise an important point there, Mick, when you mentioned Como. Do you guys get to go there as well, or who will I speak to about trying to get in that trip?
Well, I've been unfortunate. I need to go to Como.
It's a hard life.
I mean, it's unacceptable, really. I mean, put me through these things. I mean, it really is. I mean, just be contacting HR. The trials and tribulations of this job are honestly it's unbearable at times.
Aye.
Yeah, so we've got to come next week. Via Parkhead on Saturday. Newcastle game Saturday.
Oh, of course, Newcastle at the weekend. That'll be a good game as well. Well, guys, look, I think I've taken up plenty of your time as it is. Thank you very much for everyone listening at home. We'll be back next week reacting to that Celtic Newcastle game. Until then, Mick, Ryan, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for having us.
We're going back to work. No, back to work.
I believe you. And thanks for listening at home. Cheers.
Exactly when these fucking videos are.